Hello everybody, my name is Raheem Escalai and this is your 2022-2023 Western Mass High School Basketball Season Preview. Today we start with the girls' side, but first we're going to get into a little thing I want to talk about. Both the Central boys and girls team made it to the state championships, although one was victorious, and that is the Lady Golden Eagles, highlighted by Julie Bahati, Jordis Tatalatazi, and many more. But one thing that was really big that happened this offseason with the girls' side of things in high school basketball was Amani Lopez and the move that she made to Putnam Science Academy. Amani Lopez was a Lady Golden Eagle. She comes to the Putnam team very experienced, having won a state championship, having been successful at basketball throughout her high school basketball journey, and yet it continues as she will be graduating in the class of 2024. So we're getting ready to see what she's got in store for us. For 2 seasons at the very least. And I am very excited for that and what she will bring to the Putnam Science team. In the preseason power rankings, the top 3 teams have 20 wins or more apiece from a year ago. They are Central, Hoosick Academy, and Springfield International Charter. Let's revisit these 3 teams separately so we can determine the best of the 3, including which of the latter 2 teams has the best chance at snatching the coveted number 1 ranking. So without further ado, we are going to break down the teams. I have the top 10 teams that are ranked, broken down, and then we will go over the rankings 1 through 40. So, a lot of talking. Let me sip this drink real quick. Here we go. The number 1 Central Golden Eagles, 22 wins, 1 losses. Obviously, they're the number 1 team. They won state champions. These young women are your defending champs with a myriad of talent, including guards, point guard Jordis Tatalatazi. There's my favorite point guard in the state of Massachusetts right there. Julie Bahati is in her senior year and garnered the attention of 5 Division I colleges like Northeastern, George Washington University, Colgate, Fairfield, and Bryant College, located here in Massachusetts, in Worcester, Massachusetts. Including offers that she also received from UMass and Siena College. Last season, Julie averaged a smooth 14 points per, hitting her field goals at a 51% clip. And even though Mass Live High School Sports, fucking geniuses, has her listed as a guard, she has only made 1 3 back in her freshman days of 2019. Excuse me. She enters the season, her senior year, poised to have the best year yet. She's a ridiculously hard worker, and I'd often seen her shooting around when I'd leave the old Planet Fitness in Springfield. And I'm 100% sure it's about to pay off, as it always has for Miss Bahati. Defenses in Western Mass need to be on notice down low whenever they play the Golden Eagles, the Lady Golden Eagles. As a matter of fact, all over the court, because this is an experienced group that's ready to score. They're smart. They've played together for quite some time. And just all of the experience that they have in the postseason has to have you believing that they're going to do it again. Head coached by the one and only James G. Shout out to you, Coach James G. Hope everything's all right with you. Hope you guys are ready for the season, because we're ready, and we want your Golden Eagles to bring another championship back here to Western Mass. Let's see. We have the key departures, I would say, would be Amani Lopez, Amani Smith, and Myra Green. Moving on to the number 2 team, the Hoosick Valley Hurricanes. They finished 21-4. Last year, to many people's surprise, Hoosick was one of the more efficient offenses. They also finished in the top 10 defense as well. This combination worked well throughout the season until they met up with Hopedale in the state's D5 championship game. As a team, they shot around 52% from the field, from the 3. And in that game, they only made 2 of 10, which is kind of embarrassing, especially if you've shot a three-pointer as a team. Over 52%, that's ridiculous. Hopedale capitalized on every opportunity it was presented with, especially in the second half when they held on to beat Hoosick 55-45. The Hurricanes lost 4 seniors to graduation this past summer, so there will be a small learning curve with this group, but I do not expect there to be much drop-off in the win column. I'd be willing to bet that they go on a longer run than they did in 2021, actually. So beware of these Hoosick Valley Hurricanes, these Lady Hurricanes. Number 3, Springfield International Charter School, the Bulldogs, the Lady Bulldogs. Shout out to Tyrone Reed Jr. That's my guy right there. He is their coach. And last year, to many people's surprise, Coach Tyrone Reed, sorry, I read the line ahead. Coach Tyrone Reed led this group of Bulldogs to a 20-win season in his first year at the helm. It wasn't until January 11, 2022 that I was able to see their process up close and personal. It was a road game at Mount Greylock, the first time our show has ever been to the school. First things start with the two great guards in our city, in Alexa May Davis and her running mate Alicia Mitchell. Upon studying this team from individual stats or where they place in the unit amongst the other schools, attending both the game on January 11th and January 27th when they were upset at home by Minnehaha 66-61. Even in that game, the two stars put in work, with Davis scoring 25, including going 2 for 2 for Treyland, and Mitchell's 22.6 assists night were not enough to get it done, as the Falcons trapped for the final 3 minutes, stopping the Bulldogs with every shot they took. It's 2022, and this squad of ballers are primed to win the states in their respective division. Losing 2 seniors to graduation might potentially leave room for error, but the way that Coach Reed has gotten the team to buy in to what he wants to do on the court, I feel like this group has a shit ton of potential to be better even than this year. That fact alone is very scary. Another thing I want to say about Springfield International Charter, when in the 2 games that I physically went to, it's not always the 2-star guards that were getting the ball and making the points, whatever. Alexa and Alicia are good at getting their team involved, and what that does for a club long term is have experience all throughout the bench. So when the stars come out, don't worry, it's almost like the stars are coming back in, because these young women have been battle tested. They've been through it all, and they're coached by a great one in Tyrone Reed Jr. Like I said, I think these Bulldogs might be number 1 at the end of it. I think they could be potentially challenging Central for a state championship. I don't know if that could even happen, but you gotta respect what they're doing, and this year is gonna be crazy. Number 4, the Wacona Warriors, 18-5. Liz K. All the Warriors coach knows how to do is win. All I do is win. And if you go in and throw your hands in the air and make them say, yeah. In the last 2 years, her girls have gone 38-5 with a state's tournament appearance, ending ever so heartbreakingly to Mashpee. Score was 47-45. What makes Wacona so good? Proper shot selection. How does Liz and her staff effectively get that done? These basketball practices aren't like your ordinary runs, suicides, plays, free throws, practice shooting, etc. These girls literally are taught to have the ability to make a shot from anywhere on the court. Repetition brings forth victory and success, and in 2021 the pilots of such a process were none other than freshman sharpshooters Grace Wigington and Olivia Gambaroni. We were present at Granby High School when Grace went absolutely fucking apeshit and dropped a game-high 39 points on 5 of 6 shooting from 3. Gambaroni added 23 points, 2 of 2 from 3, and the other teammates fed off the 2 girls' offensive prowess, and Wacona flattened Granby 80-19. 80-19, and a fucking basketball game. Excuse my French. Lakota retained most of their team, with the exception of Eva Eberween and Ella Quinto, graduating this past summer. This group has stayed intact thanks to a strong team effort around two girls who are responsible for 3/4 of the team's offense, as well as the bench and their contributions. The weak spot in this team is that every night Gambaroni and Wigington are highly dependent on, and no one is perfect. Even the best shooters in the game can get ice cold on occasion. Number 5, the Lee Tigers. We're getting right through this, huh? They're 18-5. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Oh, sorry. I thought we were singing. The song could sometimes be heard from a fan or two's phone when the Lady Tigers were on the court. Caroline Maloney, a junior in 2021, had an offensive coming out party, seemingly in every game. She improved her shooting to the point she might as well be called Mother of the Mid-Range, hitting on shots outside of the key at a 53% clip. She also unveiled a new ability as she was able to create her own shot when the rock was hers. She made twice as many threes as she did in her sophomore campaign, up from a shy 10 to 37 makes in 2021. During the state, she made history that hasn't been seen before in Division 5. She went into this game taking full advantage of Douglas's inability to defend Lee's backcourt, while shooting 60% from the field, going 11 of 13 from Treyland. 11 of 13, no cap in that. She dropped 46 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. This game solidified Maloney to be a danger for the Ops, as her shot-making ability and basketball IQ were on full display during a night that will live forever in the hearts of Tiger fans. They were brought back to earth the following week as Caroline was ice cold, only dropping 10 as Hopedale ruined their night 73-44. Ouch. At the half, the Tigers were kind of still in it, but they were doomed as an entire brick palace was built in Lee that night. Shaylin Kelly made her basketball debut last season and showed glimpses of greatness, and enters her sophomore campaign hungry to solidify her spot amongst the team and build off that sample size performance we saw that day in 2021. I think Lee's lack of size, including giving their big a regular, consistent offensive role, this team of decent shooters will struggle in 2022, as they did last year when the cold shooting couldn't make up for their lack of size and they were murdered repeatedly in the paint. Number 6, the East Hampton Eagles, 17-4. Last season, the Eagles of East Hampton were high in the power rankings. They rounded off 15 straight wins to start the season, and this group of Eagles didn't stand out in any particular offensive category. The starting 5 consisted of Nesserine Bentley, Rena Damon, Sophia Massa, Lauren Morris, and Mariah Belfaki. Contributions from Emma Downer and Jessica Cloutier, who rode the bench and at one point dramatically improved enough to practice to the point where these two clicked well with the original starting 5, and regularly rotated with the group, getting the most out of their minutes. What they did collectively on the defensive side of the ball was at a higher level than most others, and they didn't match that. As a result, they had the highest margin of victory, second only to the state champion Golden Eagles at 12.2 a game. Many of us associate a high win total with even higher scoring play, but Coach Brian Miller, an innovative leader who paid extra attention and preached and taught the fundamentals of solid basketball, including all the right ways to be a solid defender, became this team's identity, and that they wore with high honor through the regular season. During the postseason, little things such as communication errors that led to missed shots, turnovers, and their opponent's scoring ability increasing, and the handful of losses this team suffered were because of those flaws. Flaws that were not an issue as the season progressed until the first loss of the season to the top-ranked Lee. That boasted a trio of players in Emma Polari, Caroline Maloney, and Brianna Kelly, who were red hot on both ends of the ball, proving to be no match for them that day. They won out 2 games to conclude the regular season, but lost 3 straight games, including regional quarterfinals in Class B to Monument Mountain, 62-48, a semifinal matchup to Frontier, 61-49 in the States. They happened to face Frontier again, but were expeditiously sent home packing 49-45 in a highly contested defensive struggle in which both teams played very poorly. The Red Hawks wanted and made two key stops on consecutive possessions to seal the win. I think more of the same thing we saw in 2021. They lost 6 seniors, including mainstays like Nesserine and the Damon sisters, Kaylin and Raina, to name the two. So the learning curve will be felt, as well as the abundance of leadership that those upper-class student athletes brought. All gone out the door via graduation. With that being said, I think East Hampton takes a step back this year as the incoming freshmen build camaraderie with their teammates and get games under their belt. Then they can be pretty good. They will fall out of the top 10 rankings as a result of this all. Number 7, Frontier Redhawks. They were 17-5. Coach Dave Machon's Frontier Lady Redhawks enjoyed success early and often in 2021. Highlighted by freshman sensation Delaney Fiffield and all-pro type of performances throughout the season from Kaylee Beithuame. Sorry, I did not want to crush your name, girl. Haley Kutkowski, Molly Gates, and Abby Howard. In addition to the bench getting proper amounts of playing time, more so during mop-up duty when they came into the game with a lead of 10 points or more. Every player had improved their shooting percentages very nicely. And this year's sophomores of last season have a year of experience under their belts, as well as shooting that got better in all of them as the season progressed. Losing 2 seniors, but also adding 2 more to the starting lineup. Who can score and rebound the ball well with them to avenge last season's state's tournament 50-39 loss to Amesbury. And then number 8, Amherst Hurricanes. This is gonna be a good one. Buckle in for this story. They're 17-5. Whenever you talk basketball in Amherst, Massachusetts, you might be thinking of the Mullins Center, home of the UMass Minutemen, whatever. The memories. Great games, legends that made it to the NBA level in center Marcus Camby, and one of the best coaches in the history of the sport in John Calipari. The high school basketball season tip-off was held there as well, but on a local scale, there was a talented young baller in the midst of her own basketball journey. Delaney McFetrus is her name. 2021, the forward was a senior and the focal point of the Lady Hurricanes offense that took me by surprise and probably everyone else. These girls opened up the year with an 8-game winning streak, and doing so, Delaney averaged 16.7 per, dropping a dub in 2 consecutive games after she missed January 14th's game at Munson. She came back, dropped 27 on 10 of 19 shooting, including 2 deep corner threes in the second half as they cruised to victory. She also dropped a game-high 27 points in a loss to Holyoke against another 1,000-point scorer in Yamaya Perez. Confidence was high going into the postseason for Amherst as junior guard Tessa Kowal established herself as a viable scoring option, 16.4 per, and improved her decision-making as well. In the Western Mass Class A semifinal, they eventually lost to state champion Lady Golden Eagles that put the clamps on them in the second half in the Sweet 16 of the MIAA tournament, which was Delaney's last high school game. She gave us 14 points, including 3 makes from downtown, but things got cold for everyone as the game grew older. Norwood got the win and sent his team packing. Losing a dynamic player like McFetrus is hard for everyone, especially on head coach Ralph Luce, as his staff are tasked with replacing the offense that left her in her graduation and eventual move to Worcester Polytech Institute. It's going to be tough for them in 2022, and they will struggle at times. But I predict they will win at least 13 games this season. So, number 9, South Hadley Tigers, 17-8. A team I feel didn't get as much media coverage as they should have. The style of ball these girls play, I love it, honestly. Run and gun, feast or famine. They aim to land the first punch every game and build off that as they are up and down the court pretty quickly. And as a team, the decision-making is fast and effective. So you must be thinking what happens when they start the game out cold. Well, that's when forward Alex Jackson turns up. Not only was she a decent three-point shooter, she is also not afraid to go down low and get her points in the paint. Olivia Marion, another post player with decent ball handle skills, a point forward, if you will, did her damage in the mid-range and would often wow the crowd with the fancy passes and what she was able to do in the paint as well, leading the Tigers in assists. Most of the time, the style of offense worked, but for the most part, most of the teams they played had a hard time recovering from being down by so much early in the game. But it didn't always work. Hoosick Valley made them pay for that with their first loss of the season, where they started off slow but crept back in the game, only to turn the ball over in one of the game's final possessions, in Hoosick Valley won 62-60. The Amherst Hurricanes weren't playing it either, and on a night when South Hadley was building a brick palace, Delaney McFeatures dropped 27 on him, hitting all free throws and hitting 2 threes in the second half. I love the style of play here, but saying goodbye to Olivia Marion and the in-your-face, shut your best player down, and Talia Ribe is going to hurt. With the experience gone, it's hard to say that the Tigers will go farther than they did in 2021. Finally, the number 10 Chicopee Pacers, 16-5. One of the top scorers in all of Western Mass, as far as teams are concerned, 76 points a game. They boasted the Western Mass Player of the Year and 1,000-point scorer in Yamarelis Matos. Shout out to you, Ms. Matos. Hope you're enjoying life, and just a shout out. I admire your career. Your high school career was awesome. Anyway. They were by far the funnest team, one of the funnest teams to watch last season. They started the season 2-1. The first loss of the season was against a foe of the Eastern Mass variety in Framingham High School, 58-51. They played tough defense all night and capitalized on Chicopee's mistakes, but that was the last we would see of such errors for a long time. They went on an incredibly fast-paced 11-game win streak during a period where no other school rebounded the ball or shot more effectively, especially from downtown. It was very fitting that the leadership on this team was shining. They eventually saw 6 young women graduate, and as teammates, the underclasswomen benefited greatly from all season long, which gives you hope going forward. And then came Valentine's Day, 2021. It will be a day that is immortalized in history forever. In a loss to Central with under a minute left to play in the first quarter, she did it. She did it. Yamarelis Matos of Chicopee High School scored her 1,000th career point. I think it was like 1,001 and 2. Also, kind of on the same play. Anyway, in the final regular season game against the school they matched up with in the Western Mass Class A championship game, also a loss, this time 65-44. With talent as good as Yamarelis Matos and the other 5 seniors that graduated, along with her, it seems like rebuild mode is in full swing here. But I beg to differ, as 5-spot senior Elena Smith leads this team, who scored 4 times as much as she did in the season prior, looks to build on that, as well as her 2.3 rebounds a game. That needs to come up as well. An average of 2021 became a dominant big in her final year at Chicopee High School. I have them at number 10 simply because of the firepower they lost and what those 6 girls meant to this Chicopee Lady Pacers basketball team. But I'm pretty certain that in 2021, 2023, this group is going to surprise our entire region. And that does it for the evaluations of the top 10 teams. But hold on, don't go, because we still got a little bit more. We're going for the official 2022-2023 Girls High School Basketball Power Rankings 1 through 40. Let's go. Central number 1, 22-1. I guess the records really don't matter. Hoosick number 2, 21-4. Springfield National Charter 20-5. Number 3. Wacona Warriors 18-5. Number 4. Lee Tigers 18-5. Number 5. East Hampton Eagles 17-4. Number 6. Frontier Redhawks 17-5. Number 7. Amherst Hurricanes 17-5. Number 8. South Hadley Tigers 17-8. Number 9. Chicopee Pacers 16-5 at number 10. Franklin Tech Number 11, 16-6, Turners Falls, 15-7, number 12. Number 13, Palmer, 15-8. Taconic High School 15-10 at number 14. Number 15 Holyoke 14-7. 16 St. Mary's, they are 13-4. Southwick 13-9 at number 17. Drury 13-10. Number 18 Hamden Charter School Science East 12-9 at 19. Monument Mountain also a 12-9 record, checks in at number 20. Halfway done. Belchertown, number 21, 12-9. Pope Francis, number 22, 11-11. 23, Hopkins, 11-11. 24, Northampton, 11-11. 25, Smith Volk, 12-10. 26, Munson, 11-12. 27, Pathfinder, 11-10. 28, Pittsfield, 11-10. 29, Duggan, 10-8. Putnam, number 30 at 10-11. Not Putnam Science, where Armani Lopez is. Number 31, Agawam, 10-11. Number 32, Commerce, Red Raiders, 10-11. Chippewa, 10-11 as well. Pioneer Valley Christian, 9-8. Number 34. Mohawk Trail 9-10, number 35. Long Meadow 36, 9-13. West Springfield number 37, 9-11. Mount Everett 9-13, number 38. Minnetonka 9-11, number 39. Number 40. Smith Academy at 8-11. And this concludes the Western Mass Sports High School Basketball season preview from the girls' side. Yes, that's right. This is a part one, and I would hope that the rest of you would tune in tomorrow when we do the boys' side in part 2, Friday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. If there's any problems or anything with this, please let me know. And who's ready for some basketball in Western Mass? Like, come on. I look forward to seeing you guys at these games because you know I'm going to be there. But things are going to be a little different when I'm there. For that, you're going to have to wait and find out what I'm talking about. Shouts to Coach Deion Bird, shouts to Coach Cotton, Justin Cotton, on that. And love you all, wishing nothing but health, wealth, and success. Female student athletes who are playing basketball, have a great year. Work hard, enjoy it, have fun, and score, score, score. Shout out to my Golden Eagles, Jordan Tanawatazi and Julie Bahati. They're going to win again. State champions. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.